On the 13th of October, 2025, NASA quietly took an extraordinary step, one that signaled growing unease within the international scientific community. Without any public fanfare or major press release, the agency initiated a series of planetary defense protocols following the detection of strange, unexplained light behavior from the interstellar object known as 3I Atlas. What began as a simple observation of an unusual comet has now escalated into one of the most compelling and mysterious astronomical stories of the decade. For months, scientists have been closely monitoring Atlas, which entered the solar system from deep interstellar space. Initially classified as a comet, it soon began displaying traits that baffled experts and contradicted conventional cometary behavior. Its trajectory, brightness, and reflected light patterns shifted in ways that could not easily be explained by normal physics or solar interactions. The situation reached a new level of intensity when light pulses were recorded emanating from the object, pulses that some claimed followed structured, repeating patterns. Now, NASA, along with the International Asteroid Warning Network, has quietly moved to classify Atlas as an official planetary defense concern. This marks the first time in recorded history that an interstellar object has been added to the global monitoring list maintained by the United Nations endorsed group responsible for tracking potential impact threats to Earth. The decision represents a major turning point in how humanity deals with objects arriving from outside the solar system. The International Asteroid Warning Network operates as a coalition of space agencies, observatories, and research institutions from around the world. Its mission is to coordinate planetary defense activities, from identifying hazardous objects to developing strategies that could one day protect Earth from impact. The addition of Atlas to the International Asteroid Warning Network tracking roster was unprecedented, and according to officials, necessary due to the object's highly unpredictable behavior. On Tuesday, representatives from the organization confirmed that Atlas was causing unique challenges for predicting its orbital path, prompting its inclusion in the Comet Astrometry Campaign, a special initiative designed to refine the accuracy of celestial tracking systems. What truly unsettled researchers, however, were the features that set Atlas apart from any known comet. Observations revealed what has been described as an anti-tail, a jet of luminous material pointing toward the sun rather than away from it. This strange configuration violates the typical behavior of comets, whose tails are usually formed by solar radiation pressure pushing dust and gas outward. The anti-tail suggested that Atlas might be generating its own energy, possibly through an unknown mechanism. In response, the International Asteroid Warning Network announced that a coordinated global training exercise would be conducted from the 27th of November, 2025 through the 27th of January, 2026. During this 2-month period, observatories from around the world, including the Mauna Kea Observatory in Hawaii, the European Southern Observatory in Chile, and multiple research telescopes across Asia, will all synchronize their systems to observe and record data from Atlas. The official explanation is that the exercise is meant to improve astrometric precision, or the measurement of an object's position in space. Yet, many independent researchers have noted the extraordinary scale of the coordination effort, suggesting that something far more serious is at play. Social media platforms began buzzing with speculation after users noticed the timing and scope of NASA's actions. One user commented, "When every telescope from Mauna Kea to Chile is being synced on one object, that's not a drill." Another observed that when space agencies begin framing global coordination events as training, it often means they are preparing for an unexpected development. Adding to the intrigue, NASA's Public Affairs Office has remained largely silent. When contacted by journalists from international outlets, including the Daily Mail, the agency declined to comment, citing the ongoing government shutdown in Washington, D.C. This official silence has only deepened public curiosity and suspicion, especially since other organizations like the European Space Agency and the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency have confirmed their involvement in the observation campaign. NASA insists that the exercise is not an emergency response and that no rockets or kinetic impactors are being prepared. Instead, officials have described the operation as an educational event meant to encourage amateur astronomers to capture better images of the comet. Still, many remain unconvinced, noting that such coordinated planetary defense actions are rarely executed unless there is potential for significant risk. What makes this situation even more unsettling is the timing. Atlas is currently approaching its closest pass to the Sun, a period during which comets typically become brighter and more volatile. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, known for his controversial yet bold interpretations of interstellar phenomena, has offered an alternative explanation for the object's behavior. According to Loeb, Atlas may not be a comet at all, but a sophisticated craft utilizing the Sun's gravity to alter its trajectory through what is known as the Oberth effect. The Oberth effect occurs when a spacecraft fires its propulsion system at the point in its orbit closest to a large gravitational body, such as the Sun. This technique allows for maximum acceleration with minimal energy expenditure, effectively enabling interstellar travel on a scale that would be impossible using traditional propulsion methods. Loeb noted that Atlas is currently positioned perfectly for such a maneuver. Within 1 week, the object will come within approximately 126 million miles of the Sun, a prime window for performing an Oberth acceleration. If Loeb's interpretation proves correct, it would imply that Atlas is under intelligent control, perhaps operating as an interstellar probe or even a massive mothership. In his latest analysis, Loeb estimated the object's diameter to be over 28 miles, large enough to house internal systems or structures. He theorized that if it is indeed a vessel, it will continue on its current gravitational path and eventually exit the solar system after performing its maneuver. Further evidence supporting the craft hypothesis came from images captured earlier this year. The Hubble Space Telescope recorded a peculiar glow surrounding Atlas that did not match the expected reflection of sunlight. Instead, the light appeared to be internally generated, suggesting some form of energy emission. This revelation led Loeb to propose that Atlas could be powered by a nuclear or fusion-based energy source, technology far beyond anything currently known on Earth. Adding to the mystery, on the 3rd of October, several space probes near Mars captured detailed imagery as the object passed nearby. The photographs revealed a massive cylindrical structure with a metallic green sheen, possibly due to a nickel-based coating. Nickel is a material commonly used in human spacecraft to withstand the extreme heat of rocket propulsion, making the composition of Atlas all the more intriguing. The resemblance between the interstellar object and advanced engineered materials has fueled speculation that Atlas might be an artifact of extraterrestrial origin. Some theorists believe it could be part of a larger fleet of interstellar probes traversing the galaxy, exploring or mapping habitable worlds. Others think it might serve a more observational purpose, gathering data on humanity's technological progress and planetary defenses. Whatever its true nature, the behavior of Atlas has forced agencies around the globe to re-evaluate their preparedness for interstellar encounters. The International Asteroid Warning Network's decision to classify it as a planetary defense concern indicates that the threat is being taken seriously at the highest levels. The scheduled observation drills are not only meant to improve tracking precision, but also to test the world's response to a potential deep space anomaly. Some within the scientific community have speculated that the odd light emissions from Atlas may be a form of encoded signal, possibly a transmission using light pulses structured around mathematical or harmonic patterns. Earlier reports from independent astronomers indicated that the object had previously emitted pulses following the Fibonacci sequence, a numerical pattern deeply embedded in nature and creation itself. If those pulses were deliberate, it could signify an attempt at communication rather than random natural behavior. As Atlas continues its approach toward the Sun, it has become the focus of one of the most intense international observation campaigns in history. The synchronized efforts of space agencies, observatories, and defense networks demonstrate both humanity's growing vigilance and its uncertainty in the face of the unknown. Whether Atlas is an alien craft, a new type of interstellar body, or a cosmic anomaly unlike anything seen before, it has already changed how scientists view the universe. In the months ahead, data gathered during the global observation period may offer answers or deepen the mystery further. But one thing is certain: NASA's quiet activation of planetary defense systems was not an overreaction. It was a precaution rooted in history's oldest instinct, the will to survive. The exploration of Mars has long captivated the imagination of scientists and space enthusiasts alike, with each new discovery shedding light on the planet's mysterious past and potential for extraterrestrial life. Among the many intriguing findings from Mars exploration missions, one particular image captured by NASA's Curiosity rover has sparked widespread interest and speculation: the apparent sighting of what looks like an ammonite in one of its photographs. The image in question was taken by Curiosity's Mastcam camera and subsequently shared with the public by NASA. In the photograph, a small coiled object resembling the fossilized shell of an ancient marine organism can be seen partially buried in the Martian rock. The object's spiral shape and segmented chambers bear a striking resemblance to the shells of terrestrial ammonites, extinct relatives of modern-day cephalopods such as squid and nautilus. The discovery of a potential ammonite fossil on Mars raises a host of tantalizing questions about the planet's past and its potential for harboring life. Ammonites were prolific inhabitants of Earth's oceans for hundreds of millions of years, from the Devonian period to the end of the Cretaceous period, and their fossils are commonly found in sedimentary rocks around the world. The presence of an apparent ammonite fossil on Mars suggests that the planet may have once been home to liquid water and potentially hospitable conditions for life. However, the interpretation of the object in the photograph as an actual fossil remains a subject of debate. While some have pointed to its resemblance to terrestrial ammonites and the possibility of ancient Martian oceans, others have offered alternative explanations for its appearance. One possibility is that the object is a naturally occurring rock formation that has been eroded or weathered into a spiral shape by wind or other geological processes. Another possibility is that it is a concretion, a type of mineral deposit that can form in sedimentary rocks through the precipitation of minerals around a nucleus. Despite these alternative explanations, the discovery of the potential ammonite fossil highlights the importance of continued exploration and investigation of Mars's geological history. Over the past decade, robotic rovers and orbiters have provided unprecedented insights into the planet's past environment, revealing evidence of ancient riverbeds, lake beds, and even possible hot springs. These findings suggest that Mars was once a much warmer and wetter planet than it is today, with conditions that may have been conducive to the emergence and evolution of life. In addition to its potential implications for Mars's past habitability, the discovery of a possible ammonite fossil also underscores the broader significance of astrobiology and the search for life beyond Earth. The exploration of Mars and other planetary bodies in our solar system offers a unique opportunity to study the processes that shape planetary evolution and the conditions necessary for life to arise and thrive. By studying the geology, chemistry, and biology of Mars, scientists hope to gain a better understanding of the potential for life elsewhere in the universe and our place within it.
Evidence of water on Mars. The idea of water on Mars has been present in science for many years. It is now well known that Mars is considered a mostly dry planet, with limited evidence of moisture. However, new information shows that ancient waters once flowed over the surface of the red planet. As we mentioned earlier, the presence of the blueberries also lends itself to the idea that running water was present on Mars. The first major hint suggesting that Mars was covered in water is through the craters formed on the face of the planet. Scientists from the Netherlands assert that the only thing capable of forming the kind of massive craters discovered would have been large amounts of water, specifically water that was deep and remained in one place for a long time. Alongside these craters are various channels formed in the surface of Mars, which suggests that running water existed and created these pathways. These channels are indented, which tells us that this running water existed for a long period of time. This confirms that once Mars was home to many lakes, rivers, and perhaps also larger bodies of water like oceans. The soil found on Mars has been found to have hydrogen in it. This has been attributed to the presence of water molecules in the soil as well. This could indicate that water may still exist beneath the surface of Mars. NASA has found rocks that look like concrete slabs built from this soil. The rock has eroded on one side. The other is completely smooth. Scientists affirm that water, specifically running water, is responsible. Another important piece of evidence that Mars contained water is the ice now present. Various rovers have discovered ice and glaciers. The temperatures on Mars now are far too low to support liquid water. There are also minerals and rocks that have formed under the ice that imply that liquid water was once part of the red planet. In 2018, a subglacial lake was discovered. It extends about 20 kilometers, and it is considered to be the first known stable body of liquid water on Mars. This provides important insight into what Mars once was, and it also allows scientists to better assess whether Mars could or ever did support life. Throughout these studies, scientists are very positive that running water once existed on Mars in high volumes. The Curiosity rover was sent to Mars to discover whether flowing water ever existed on the planet, and it seems that this has been confirmed. This shapes everything we know and continue to learn about Mars, as we discover what life may have looked like when water was running on this planet. While some scientists believe that the running water only existed for a short amount of time on Mars, it seems that the combination of studies and evidence suggest that it existed much longer than previously believed. This suggests that there may have been enough water present for a long enough period of time that Mars could have been considered habitable. The evidence of running water opens new questions about whether there was plant or animal life once on Mars and how long ago this may have been. Scientists argue that the evidence of water on Mars is the first true evidence of a possible habitable environment. Water is essential to all life as we know it, so the idea that Mars once contained this necessity for life is incredible.
Universe is a false vacuum. There are a few ways that physicists have toyed with when it comes to theorizing about the destruction of the universe, and they generally have ominous names: the Big Rip, the Heat Death, and the Big Crunch. One particularly interesting hypothetical destruction is vacuum decay. Before diving into understanding vacuum decay, we need to backtrack and talk about Higgs field. Higgs field is a field of energy that permeates our universe. Similar to an electric field, Higgs field varies in strength. The power of Higgs field in any particular area is dependent on its potential. Another part of this operation is Higgs boson. Higgs boson is the foundational particle connected with Higgs field. It was proposed by Peter Higgs, Francois Eglert, and 4 other theorists in 1964, and confirmed in 2012, resulting in a Nobel Prize for the scientists. The potential of Higgs field tells us whether the universe is in a state of true vacuum or false vacuum. A vacuum is a space entirely lacking in matter. It is also the stable lowest energy state. Currently, the universe is in a false vacuum state called metastable. It's not actively decaying, but it is also not completely stable. 2 glaring issues to consider when living in a metastable universe are that a high enough energy event can in theory take a small region of the universe from the false vacuum into the true vacuum. This would create a domino effect of a true vacuum that would expand in all directions at the speed of light. Such an event would be lethal. The second issue is that the tiny particle can create a passage through a boundary between one region and another. This could include tunneling through to the vacuum state. So, a universe in a metastable false vacuum has the potential to suddenly be partly in a true vacuum state, which would be detrimental. The possibility of vacuum decay has been weighing on the mind of researchers recently because the measurements of Higgs boson seem to indicate that the vacuum is now metastable. This might seem like a reason to feel alarmed and move into a state of existential dread. However, the life of a metastable universe is predicted to be substantially longer than the life of the current universe.
Starless exoplanets may orbit black holes. Exoplanets are, put simply, just planets that don't orbit our Sun. Recent studies have found, though, that some exoplanets, rather than orbit a star, are orbiting supermassive black holes. This is also thought to be quite common across the universe, as evidence suggests that at the centre of a galaxy, the supermassive black hole can pull planets into its orbit. What's more is that it doesn't stop there. Theories suggest that these planets can also be formed around these black holes. Whilst it's true that black holes are never ending in the pursuit to consume everything around it, They can also form a ring around themselves. These rings are made of various gases and dust, but form anywhere up to 30 light-years away from the supermassive black hole itself. It is theorized that planets can be formed when a star forms. The cloud of gas and dust from around the star collapses and forms disks. These disks are then pulled together and merged by gravity. As you can probably put together, this new research suggests that the clouds formed around a supermassive black hole can create these disks and potentially, in turn, planets. These planets created around the black holes would be around 10 times the mass of the Earth and could be giant ice or rock planets. Also, because these planets would be formed light years away from the black hole, that there wouldn't be any strange happenings on these planets caused by the extreme gravity from the black hole. The scientists carrying out this research at the University of Kagoshima in Japan also estimate that tens of thousands of these planets could be orbiting the supermassive black holes in the centers of galaxies, and even go as far as to say this could be happening in our own galaxy too. Potential third planet discovered orbiting Proxima Centauri. Although we have not yet discovered extraterrestrial life in our solar system, that does not mean that we are totally without neighbours. In fact, it is the very study of these easily visible nearby neighbours that has allowed us to learn so much about the endless stretch of space that surrounds us. Recently, a surprising discovery was made about the star closest to our Sun, Proxima Centauri, which is the smallest member of the Alpha Centauri system of the Centaurus constellation and is located just over 4 light-years away. Findings published in the Astronomy and Astrophysics Journal detailed how a team of astronomers analysing observations made by the European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope in Chile located another planet orbiting the nearby star, which makes it the third planet in this small neighbouring system. It seems that the study of this strange new little planet, dubbed Proxima D, could tell researchers much about elements of our solar system that were previously unknown. Firstly, it orbits incredibly close to Proxima Centauri. For reference, Mercury orbits our own Sun at a distance of 10 times that of Proxima D's orbit of Proxima Centauri. One lap around its host star takes just 5 days, while the other 2 planets in the system, Proxima B and Proxima C, take 11 days and a whopping 5 years, respectively. Additionally, with a mass barely a quarter of Earth's, it is one of the lightest exoplanets that has been discovered so far. Due to the closeness and variability of this neighbouring system, scientists are keen to learn its secrets. However, knowledge of the Proxima Centauri system is actually rather slim, as Proxima B was not confirmed as a planet until 2020. In fact, it was the study of this planet using the AFGL spectrograph for rocky exoplanets and stable spectroscopic observations, or ESPRESSO instrument, on the ESO's Very Large Telescope that led to the discovery of Proxima D as mere hints of a corresponding signal surrounding this new planet. After specific ESPRESSO measurements were conducted dedicated exclusively to the potential Proxima D, it was confirmed that the system indeed hosted a third, albeit very small, planet. This achievement is extremely important. Dr. Pedro Figueira, an astronomer with the ESO and a member of the ESPRESSO team. It shows that the radial velocity technique has the potential to unveil a population of light planets, like our own, that are expected to be the most abundant in our galaxy and that can potentially host life as we know it. This result clearly shows what ESPRESSO is capable of and makes me wonder about what it will be able to find in the future. NASA can't explain strange spiral in space. In 2006, scientists finally uncovered the true nature of star AFGL 3068, a first-of-its-kind spiral object 3,000 light-years away in the constellation Pegasus. Before this discovery, scientists knew the star existed, but the object was too faint for scientists to determine exactly what the spot was. Only after a 33-minute-long exposure with the ultra-sensitive advanced camera for surveys on the Hubble Space Telescope did scientists begin to really see the spirals come into view. Scientists found that the entity consisted of large, perfectly placed coils of dust floating out in the universe. Before AFGL 3068, the only spirals found in space were known as spiral galaxies. This star is nothing like a spiral galaxy. First of all, it is not a galaxy at all. Instead, it is made up of a binary star system that includes two stars orbiting around each other. The first star is a red giant carbon star, and the second is a blue-white star that exists 103 astronomical units away from the red giant. 103 astronomical units are approximately 2 times the distance between the Sun and Pluto. Since the two stars are so far from one another, they take approximately 800 years to orbit around each other. So, how are the spirals created? In the most basic sense, the red giant releases carbon material. This material then combines to form larger molecules, which create fine black dust.